Good morning, everyone. I want to tell you that I'm very happy that you joined this short lecture and workshop webinar. Uh, we prepare ourselves to a nice upcoming workshop this coming weekend. We just finished practitioners training, and I feel so good that I'm going to have a big trip to Europe where I will work with quite a few groups. One of them in Spain, a small town called Alhuenda, in a beautiful structure, will have dozens of teachers of natural vision improvement where I will help them to work with people whose vision cannot be corrected with glasses. We call it low vision, which means they can hardly see. And I had, for example, a wonderful lady who came to me from Portugal, and her kids had to live with her, especially her daughter, to help her go to different places. And ever since she met me 7 years ago, she was able, until now, to cross the street without help as a result of the work that I was doing. She was basically a result of a medical catastrophe. She had already high myopia, which means high myopia starts at seven seven uh, diopters, which show a measure of strength. But hers was 19. It was very high. And they removed her lens from cataract, and the lens did not fit, so they had to remove it again and again. And each time they caused basically a glaucoma attack that led to partial blindness. And then that partial blindness escalated to almost complete blindness. And with the work we were doing, which was partially taking her to this beautiful place where the video have shown in a place called Lens End in San Francisco, and looking at beautiful view. It's amazing when you look at something beautiful, how much you want to see. And this is one thing that I would like to invite all of you to do. Look at beauty, look at flowers, look at trees, look at animals, look at people with a very nice expression in their face. Look at things which are nice. It always helps you see better. And so the principles that I've put in my book, Vision for Life, are numerous, but I will mention a few of them. One of them is deep relaxation of the eyes. And with that, we're going to start today the session, how to relax our eyes deeply. And another one of them is adaptation to different light frequencies. Now, I would like to warn everyone that this is a mistake to sleep with light in the corridor, especially for kids, because the eyes need complete rest. In fact, I believe in double blinds in the room, so the eyes will be absolutely rested. Also, one of the nicest things that is happening in my classes, and that's one of the reasons I'm happy I'm going to a remote town in Spain to teach, is a walk in the dark. There is nothing as wonderful for the eyes as that. We have city lights, for example, where I have a light here for the purpose of this uh, lecture, that actually is a bit disturbing. I'm happy for the lecture, but at the same time, I can't wait for that light to go away. So we have a lot of light. Some of the light, which is really bad, is LED light, which exists everywhere these days. But we don't give the eyes the chance to experience a real night. And I remember that in Singapore, I had the biggest class I ever had in my life, 150 people. I don't have classes like this uh, in most other places. And we were walking among trees. It looked almost like a forest. And I told people to not turn on the flashlight. And first, they felt completely blinded by the dark. Not only it was a dark night, we were under trees, but within 8 to 10 minutes, they started to see more. And especially with the different exercise I did with them, which partially was to block the central vision. We took a paper. I will get a small piece of paper. If I have one here, yeah, I do. And a masking tape. So we took a little bit of a paper and we put that paper in the center, and we help to increase the peripheral vision that way. Because in the dark of the night, you actually are not seeing well centrally anyway. What you see is peripherally. And what is missing for us is the brain connection to the periphery. We just don't have enough of it. If you ask me, that's the main reason for glaucoma. That comes also to an increased pressure in the eyes. So increasing the periphery is very important. After about 15 minutes, they start to see everything clear. And after 40 minutes, they saw everything crystal clear. So what happens to the modern person? We have city lights and not enough darkness at night. And that stops us from using a big portion of our peripheral vision, which puts stress on the central vision. At the same time, we need to adjust to the daylight. And here would be controversial. I oppose sunglasses, not all the time. For example, if you drive into a sunset and the visor is just not enough, you're putting the sunglasses, that makes a lot of sense, or to a sunrise. But the point is that in most cases, you should not have sunglasses and enjoy the normal daylight. I'm all for a hat with a visor, nothing wrong with that. But I'm very much against sunglasses that most opticians, optometrists, and ophthalmologists highly recommend, and they blame cataract for not wearing enough sunglasses. Well, it's hard to see these days too many people who don't wear sunglasses, and at the same time, it's hard to see too many people who didn't get cataract. So people who wore sunglasses all their life still get cataracts. So that's not really the reason for it. I have a very nice recorded session on cataract that you're welcome to purchase from our website. And I don't think at all that cataract has to do with sun exposure. I think that there are ways to be exposed to the sun in a way which is not harmful to the eyes. And for that, we do an exercise called sunning, which described well in my book and videos, where we close the eyes and face the sun with the middle of the forehead and the bridge of the nose and move the head vigorously from side to side. So we don't look at the sun. The eyelids block any UV light, and we actually adjust to it. And then the next principle is looking at details. Now, you know what I told you, that we don't work enough with the periphery, but at the same time, we stop our curiosity, partially because too much has happened in this world, and too many things to observe that we don't really want to look at. If we were in nature, as much as other primitive tribes are, we'd look at birds, we'd look at leaves. When life was more boring, people used to do that. They used to look at things. Life is too interesting these days. Too much is happening cognitively, and we don't look as much. And the worst problem that happens these days that leads to blindness, that is totally untreated by medicine, cannot be prevented by medicine, is macular degeneration. Well, how does the macula degenerate? The macula is only 1.5% of the total field of vision, and it is in the center. And If we don't look at smaller and smaller details without stressing to see them, that is the condition. We cannot. We cannot put any stress to see details, but we can look at them. Then we can prevent macular degeneration. I have several stories of how we prevented macular degeneration and reversed it. But I want to tell you a story with somebody who never had and never will have macular degeneration, my own daughter. Just like me, she was born with cataracts. And that's very unusual, by the way. Only 1 out of 20,000 infants are ever born with cataracts, if that many. And her surgeries were successful. Her lens was removed at the age of 2 weeks. And so her brain, from the beginning of her life, started to adapt to vision. And we put contact lenses. And I always took her to the beach, first on my shoulders, and then she would walk. And she would look at details. We obstructed her strong eye, and the strong eye was the left eye. I'm obstructing always my right eye, but that's how we're obstructing it only in the left side, and got her to look at petals. And I could not believe it, but she could count 200 petals in 56 seconds. And she taught herself to look at smaller details. You know, with her condition, she should only see 5% of vision, basically, without lenses, and 25% of vision with lenses. Her vision without lenses is 75%, and with correction, which is now a third of the correction she used to have, from 33 diopters to 11, she is able to see nearly 20/20. So how did that happen? She activated the contact between her brain and her macula. That's what everyone does when they're infants. I didn't, because I was born with cataracts, so it blocked my vision at that time. And I'm still staying with a very injured lens from the wrongful surgeries that were done with me. And by the way, I don't accuse my doctors. They're wonderful people who meant very well. It just in that time, they didn't understand the surgery has to be done at the age of 2 weeks before you start to see at the age of 8 weeks. But I want to return to the point of the macula. We stop our curiosity. Like children, they have curiosity, they look at things. We are overloaded with thoughts in our head, and we don't look enough at what's in front of us. And that causes a lot of vision problems. And can you correct it with glasses? Of course you can. But it's a temporary correction. It blocks your periphery, it freezes your look, and lenses don't block your periphery, but they don't allow your eye to breathe as well. And the immune system should really fight with any foreign object, and we become uncomfortable with the lenses till we get used to them. At the expense of the immune system, it gets weaker. And then LASIK is pretty bad because what they do is they make glasses out of your cornea by shaving it, which is good for about 9 years, maybe 7. And then they have to shave it again. And then it's pretty bad for the eye in many aspects. The light doesn't enter in the harmony it could have. So I have a lot of wonderful principles in my book, but because of the short time, let's start with a practical exercise, and that's palming. So rub your hands. And by the way, I'll give you a very short break. Go just rinse your hands in water in the anywhere, in your bathroom, in your kitchen. Just rinse your hands, dry them. I'll give you 15 seconds for that. Now, interlace your fingers and move the arms in rotating motion in both directions. In fact, it's good if you stand out of your chair and move the arms in rotating motion in both directions. Go above your head. Then point the fingers this way and move the arms in rotating motion in both directions. Um, then massage around your eyes. Massage, first of all, put pressure between the eyes and then on the bridge of the nose, yeah? And then massage gentler the eyebrows and the cheekbone, and then massage nicely all kinds of grooves here. Can you sit here and I can show it to everybody?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I want to show you what I'm doing with Jean, and you can lean, yeah? So I'm putting pressure here. It should never be too much pressure, but some pressure, because when the eyes are uneven, this is one of the areas of the tissues where it's uneven. I also like to skin roll the forehead a little bit. It's really is refreshing, and do some massage over the skull. And then I massage this area. I'm feeling all the grooves of the eyebrows, and I put some pressure on them. All the grooves on the cheekbones, right? And thank you very much. And so, again, I ask you to move your arms in rotating motion in both directions. Move. Also, jump a little bit to bring more blood to your head. Jump, 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 jump. Yeah. Then we can sit down. We can massage our head, separate the scalp from the skull. Breathe deeply and slowly. And I don't know how to show it to you except to be rude and move a little bit backwards and massage this area. Everybody sees me massaging the back of my head?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Yeah. Massage the area and separate between the skull and the scalp. And rub your hands. You know, many people say that they come to see me a day before they go to their hairdresser because I messed their hair. I have to work on it. So I have a palming stick which I can change its size. I have a nice little button here. I press and I change its size. We have them for sale in our website. Uh, Postal is a bit prohibitive with that one, but the palming stick is a fantastic thing that many people like to have when they palm. I know my clients love it when I do with them Zoom sessions. So we rub the hands, we put the hands around the eye orbits. And this time, if you can turn the light off here, just pull it off. Thank you. And you can even close the door behind there.
Mhm.
Thanks. So we have in our school a real dark room where we sit down and palm. I even put a whole group of people in their dark room and we palm. But we cannot make it too dark for me to show the exercise. But if you can darken your room, put curtains anywhere you can, and we're going to palm. Can you close this door here? For the next 6 minutes. And I want you to focus on your breathing. Alexa, give us 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
So make sure that your hands are being put very, very gently around the eye orbits. And breathe deeply and slowly. And feel your abdomen and lower back expanding as you breathe in and shrinking as you breathe out. Feel how your ribs and chest and middle back are expanding as you inhale and shrinking as you exhale. Very important that you never put pressure on your cheekbones. It's good to put few pillows on a table. You can listen to nice music. You can listen to some of my MP3s that have very good guided meditation for palming. But the most important thing is see darkness, if not blackness. Blackness is the best, as if you're in a black cave, and visualize you see black, very, very black. If you can. If you can, don't press yourself to. You can visualize blue or any other color that works for you. But feel that your abdomen, lower back, ribs, chest, they all expand as you inhale and shrink as you exhale. Be as comfortable as you can be on the chair that you sit on. Feel that the chair carries your weight. Your feet are touching the ground, and you feel comfortable with them touching the ground. And you visualize that your legs expand when you breathe in and shrink when you breathe out. So you feel that the upper torso expands when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. You visualize the legs are doing it. And you feel that your head expands when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. So visualize that the whole body expands when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. And you breathe deeply and slowly. Slowly and deeply. And 6 minutes could be nice and short if you listen to something. We can visualize that all the room is black. Everything is black around us. Nothing has light in it. And we allow the optic nerve to rest. And that rest goes deep. We can visualize the eye soft, soft and flexible. Your inhalation is very slow, and your exhalation is even slower. And you never ever put pressure on the cheekbones. Alexa, stop. Slowly, slowly take your hands off your eyes. We will turn the light on again. And we will continue by massaging around the eyes, putting pressure on the bridge of the nose, massaging, putting pressure on the nose and massaging, and putting pressure on the forehead. By the way, if anybody has comments or questions online, then they're going to be read by Robbie. Okay.
Ask them to put it in the chat.
Please put it in the chat. Okay. So, what's important for us to know about the body at large, that just like the eyes need to create a lot of balanced views, we need to look at details, but at the same time pay attention to our periphery. We need to adjust to the dark of the night, at the same time to adjust to the strong sun. What we also need is evenness in the body. We all need to have evenness in the body. We have so many movements we never use. And my teacher, and you can read about it in my book, Movement for Self-Healing, told me we have more than 600 muscles in the body, and most people use 50 out of them. Whether it's accurate or not, there's no question that most of us do not use most of the muscles that we have. I will never forget that once I ran, and I ran in a measured way, measured speed, and I couldn't lift my legs too high. I couldn't lift them too low. So it was very interesting. It's a voluntary movement, running. And yet I was in such a frozen pattern that I only used my muscles in one way. So I said, well, that's ridiculous. So I lied on my stomach and crawled for about 100 yards. And then I did with my legs whatever I wanted. I used muscles that I didn't use before for the crawling. And I developed them very nicely for the crawling in a crisscross way. And then patterns have reset themselves to be freer in my brain. And so much of your movement is in your brain. And many of the muscles that you could work in life are not working. I'll give you a demonstration of one of them, but there's so many of them. For example, all of you, stand up. I'm holding into the chair. You can hold or not hold as you wish. Lift your leg up and keep it up. And John, give us 40 seconds. So you lift your leg up and you keep your leg up. And breathe deeply and slowly. Slowly and deeply. Everybody sees how I lift my leg up? Robbie?
Mm-hmm.
They see it?
Mm-hmm.
And breathe deeply and slowly. And John generously will tell us when 40 seconds are over. But 40 seconds take a long time. What? Okay, now that you stand, you can feel the difference between the two legs, the hips, and even the shoulders. How nice it is that another group of muscles become acknowledged by your brain and support you. See, posture comes from evenness of muscles. And what we need is to use the hundreds of muscles that we never use to start and work the body differently. It affects the brain, it affects the nervous system. So let's do the other leg. Lift it up and keep it up. And John, give us 40 seconds. And breathe deeply and slowly. Slowly and deeply. And breathe and enjoy. And even hurt yourself a bit, lifting it as high as your abductors allow you to. You can move your foot in rotating motion, bend and straighten your knee, and keep it up. 40 seconds over. And see how more steady you are, right? And now for 20 seconds, lift one leg backwards. Maybe I should stand this way. It's easier to see me, right? One leg backwards, as high as your muscles allow. 20 seconds, done? Okay? And you can feel the stability of that. Let's do exactly the opposite. Lift the other leg as high as you can. 20 seconds. Okay, do the foot in rotating motion. You can bend and straighten your knee, but keep it up.
Okay.
Beautiful. And you can feel the stability. So, are there any questions?
Yes, there's 3 questions. So, first question is, why never put pressure on cheekbones, please?
Well, you can put pressure on the cheekbones for a split second or for 2 seconds. But when you spend 6 minutes, and I spend sometimes hours palming, today I palmed for about half an hour in the morning. Earlier, now we'll palm for 6 minutes. Well, that's too long of a time, and it blocks blood from going to other parts of the face and for parts of the eye. So we need to not put pressure. Okay.
Next question is, in the US, can you get the lens removed from a cataract and not have a replacement because the lens coating blocks the good light for our eyes? So you recommend that?
I would recommend it, but there's not too many doctors that would agree with that. Okay, because one of the laws in medicine is that you do what is customary to do. And I actually liked it in the past. They used to give you thick cataract glasses. But without your lens, if you would do eye exercises, you probably will see better. My 2 kids don't have the lens. They have glasses, but what they see without glasses is amazing. So my daughter, about 75% of normal vision. My son, 80% of normal vision without their glasses. So with the glasses, they see my son more than 100%, my daughter close to 100% of normal vision. She just passed the DMV without much problems. So that was a very good thing. So I would say that I wish they would do it, but no doctor would do it because it's against the law.
Okay, and another question from Flims. If I want to do exercise with the glasses red and green, which color is for the strong eye? For floating bodies, I think we have to look at one and then look in another direction. I did this with the internship of Meir last year, but I forgot how to do it.
So the question is, what do you do with the red and green glasses?
Mhm.
The point is to allow the weaker eye to see better. So when we do light under paper or under the plastic and red circle, we put the red over the weaker eye because light is more observed by the brain than the circle. When we look at a flower, for example, which is pink, we like to put the red over the weaker eye because the filter can see the flower better. When we reprint, which is red or pink, we put the green lens over the weaker eye because the red doesn't allow the pink to penetrate. And then there's another form of chart where it doesn't really matter because each eye sees a different color. So if it's black letters on uh, on red background, you'd see that with the red lens. If it's more pinkish, you see it with the green lens. So some is that each eye sees separately, some that each eye sees separate part of the picture because of the filters, and then we always let the weak eye dominate for that moment because it's always being dominated. Okay, that's all the questions.
So far, yes.
Okay, so in that case, we're going to terminate it with all of us closing our eyes and taking some deep breath. And one good exercise for the ears, by the way, is rubbing the hands and putting the thumbs in the ears. And let's listen to 10 slow, deep breaths. They sound like ocean waves or like wind. Slowly take your hands off, and you can probably hear a bit better my voice and static in your room. Okay, so I would like to say goodbye to you. It's a short piece, and I'm really happy to have seen you today.